The following podcast sometimes offers unusual solutions to usual problems. These solutions are meant for qualified agencies or individuals to put into action. And I'd be willing to bet that's not you. Listen, folks, we don't take ourselves too seriously. Neither should you. So, let's go have a laugh. Welcome to Unscrew It Up, where we offer differently twisted solutions to life's little problems. I'm Josh.
I'm Amanda.
Amanda, have we recorded this podcast since we had that non-hurricane event? I don't recall.
We didn't do a live show. We used an episode from
That's right. So here we are. We are back from the hurricane that seemed like it was going to devastate us, and it didn't. We're thankful for that, but of course we're thinking about all the people that it did devastate.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's one of those things where I grew up in Miami, and I was so happy moving up north or more north because I thought, okay, no more problems with hurricanes. Well, damn it.
Thanks to global warming, they seem to be hitting us up here in North Central Florida in ways that they haven't before.
Yeah, I saw a stat about the overwhelming number of major storms in the past few years as opposed to basically history.
Yep.
Yeah, we're screwed.
Yep.
But enough of that depressing stuff. Let's talk about how billionaires are ruining the world.
That's not depressing.
So I think that I want to task Wilson Technologies. Now, Wilson Technologies, by the way, is our research and development arm of Familiar Wilson's Media. What we do is we come up with a problem and we say, yo, Wilson Technologies, you solve it.
Imaginary people in my head, fix this.
The problem that we have, that the world has right now, is that we have billionaires. And I don't think we should have billionaires.
There are quite a few of them.
I've seen the statistics about something to the effect of 8 people have more wealth than most of the rest of the world combined or something. Ridiculous. Should not be a thing. Nope. So I want to have Wilson Technologies figure out a way for us to thin the herd.
That sounds rather aggressive, but okay.
Well, no, we don't want to hurt anyone. What I want to do is I want to have a Billionaire Olympics, right? And the idea is, and maybe we can throw some multimillionaires in there too. The idea is that you make us over a certain amount of money, or you have access to over a certain amount of money, you have to enter these Olympics. And the winner gets to keep most of what they have, right? But everyone else, then they lower to, a median income, or, basically just take their money away from them, right?
So wait a second. So if you win the Olympics, it's like your gold medal. You get to keep your money. Is there a tiered thing for somebody who wins silver, they get to keep a percentage, and then somebody who wins bronze gets to keep a lower percentage?
No, just one prize.
One winner.
One winner. Like I'm saying, I'm trying to get rid of all these. So we got to think about the events, right? Because part of it is keeping these people connected to the real world.
Yes.
So let's say that their fortune rides on things like, being able to mow a lawn, being able to tell you how much the cost of milk is.
Balancing a checkbook.
No
one does anymore, but yes.
Doing their own laundry, and then, you have it judged. It may very well be that these people who live in these ivory towers, like, there will be no winners. Mm-hmm. It'll just be a default because none of them can do these everyday, day-to-day things. The Billionaire Olympics, I want to see it happen.
I love it. It's a great idea. It's a little Hunger Games, and that they have to participate. But
right, but I'm
okay with it.
We're not hurting anyone.
Right.
Now, the other direction to go is that you have the Billionaire Olympics, but the people have to be extremely physically fit.
Oh, they're not typically, are they?
Right, no, but they would have to be.
Yeah.
Maybe that means that some of the times they spend ruining people's lives, they'll instead be in the gym.
Yes.
And also, the money tends to gather in the pockets of very old people.
Old white people. White men.
Yeah, and so maybe it's time for the younger generation to have access to this money because maybe they'll do something better with it. So maybe it should be physical endurance as well. Or maybe it should be a combination of all the things. You got to make a bed and you got to bench press 300 pounds. I don't know.
I could not win these Olympics.
But let me tell you something. Any idea that we and Wilson Technologies comes up with is better than what we have today.
Agreed.
where we have this gentleman with these little bitty electronic cars that blow up every now and again, and also he's turning off satellite feeds to important war zones. That just doesn't feel right.
No, and is he doing it just because he can?
I don't know. This is as political as we're going to get on this podcast, and we're going to stop this right now.
Mm-hmm.
All I know is we just need to fix this problem with billionaires.
Okay.
All right, enough of that nonsense. Let's fix the problems of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, the Wilsons will now unscrew it up. Breakups. Now, we said last week at the end of the episode that we were going to tackle divorce in this one. Well, we thought about it and just couldn't think of anything funny about divorce because there's really
funny about divorce.
Not much funny about divorce. We've both been through one. And I don't know if there's any sort of grading system for divorces, but I think that we did all right, in both of ours. Like, there were children involved, everything is okay.
Yeah.
But not much funny about divorce. But I did want to talk about, instead, breaking up.
And it could be breaking up a friendship, breaking up a romantic dating relationship, breaking up a marriage. It could be breaking up anything.
I was very specific in what I was thinking when I was coming up with my solutions. Breaking up a romantic relationship where children are not involved.
Sure, got it. Okay.
So that's where my mind is with these solutions. Now, I've been through my fair share of breakups, and I don't think that I'm particularly great at it.
I don't know that anyone is great at breaking up.
Well, you have the most interesting breakup story that I've heard.
Don't make me tell this story.
Well, now you know you have to.
I had a guy that I dated on and off in high school and a little bit in college, and we'd date for a while and then we'd break up and then we'd get bored and then we'd date for a while and we'd break up. It was my junior prom. All my friends went to junior prom. Instead, I went to see Bryan Adams with this guy, and because I love Bryan Adams, and it was fun. We bought the tickets, and then we started fighting, and I didn't want to be with him anymore. But I waited until the concert was over because I still wanted to go to the concert, and I broke up with him on the interstate on the way back home.
There's some details there, as many times as I've heard this story, that I've never heard before.
Which was?
Well, that you would break up and get back together a bunch of times.
Yeah, because we just got bored hanging out with other people, and then we'd get back together, and then we go, yeah, no, I don't like you. But for those of you who have listened to this podcast before and or other, this is also the same boyfriend that got struck by lightning twice.
Wait, did he get struck by lightning before or after you broke up with him?
After.
Okay.
After. Yeah.
Okay.
Like after college, like after.
Okay, so it had nothing to do with you because
I did nothing to invite
I too
the
also
elements.
thought that you had something to do with that.
I had nothing to do with the elements upon which were enacted on him.
You seem to be like a person who your breakup style is very direct. Like, confront the person face to face. I don't want to date you anymore. Boom, done. Is that how you've been?
No, I mean, and I've had a fair share of people breaking up with me too. So it wasn't just me breaking up. I've had my heart broken several times with my tiny little teenage heart. Though, this is one of the problems that I'm bringing forward. In the car, I kept like, I need to break up with him, but I can't do it. And then I would watch the clock. I'm like, all right, at 9:42, I'm going to do it. Like, I kept setting like goals for myself, and then they go by and I'd be like, oh, okay, all right, when we get to mile marker, like 1:12, I'm going to do it. And then
why would you not do it when you pull into your driveway?
I don't know. It was awkwardly silent. The concert was even awkward. Like, it was just weird. We both knew it was coming.
Oh, he knew.
I mean, he knew. I wasn't happy. I don't think he was happy, but it was still one of those things where we're trying to make this work. It was a whole thing. Anyway, so that's one of my problems that I'm here to solve is the knowing you need to break up with someone, but yet not being able to do it.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, you just want to get into it then. How many solutions do you have?
I have 3, possibly 4.
I have 3, and some of the ones that I am not using involve the words restraining order
Okay.
and being given custody of a town. So,
I like that, though.
yeah, but I'm not using those. Those are just as I was trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
I do have to tell you this one because this one was interesting to me and I want to get your impression of it. So I had started to make my list for divorce, right? When I still thought that would be a hilarious topic for us to tackle.
Good. Excellent.
And one of the things that I thought of with if there's kids involved, how to co-parent, like how to figure it out, because you have to still be in a relationship.
Yeah.
It's just the nature of your relationship is different, but the relationship is based on the kids. They're still there. So I thought, what if you get divorced and then you go to a professional, you get hypnotized to believe that you are now brother and sister with custody of these children?
Okay.
And so that way... No.
But you still at some point wonder where these children came from.
Well, the hypnotist would handle that. Like they would figure out the backstory. But then it's like, okay, so all the romantic parts of the relationship are gone. And, the whole thing with siblings, fight like cats and dogs, but you still love each other.
Okay.
And then you take care of these children as brother and sister, or brother and brother, or sister and sister, like however you fall in that spectrum. But the idea is that your relationship is reframed by the hypnotist. Yeah. That's such a great idea.
I can get reframing by the hypnotist, but can we just be like friends who then have like the the sibling thing is weird to me. I don't like that part of it, but then just friends.
I don't know. I don't see that anything could go wrong with my idea at all. Unless of course you fall back in love. Then that's weird.
Awkward and weird, and I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Okay. So you're saying it was a good thing that we pivoted away.
Yes,
Why don't you start with your first problem and solution to breaking up?
So my problem is that you're unhappy, you need to break up, you know that it's right for both of you, but it's going to be a tough conversation. And so I am... Like I said, I would, at 9:42, I'd base it on the clock or I'd base it on the mile marker, just giving myself some sort of goal that I had to stick to, which I didn't stick to. But I am advocating for push notifications on your breakup.
Go ahead, because I hate the sound of this initially, so please convince me that it doesn't suck.
You know that you need to break up with somebody, right? And you have an accountability app, like I have Noom. And if I don't log my breakfast, lunch, and or dinner, Noom will start sending me push notifications. Hey, you're doing great, but go log that breakfast. Hey, you've skipped 2 meals now. Hey, it's been a day. We're needy. They actually say we're needy. So the push notification that just reminds you, hey, remember you wanted to break up with Billy Bob. Hey, it's been 48 hours and you've not let us know that you've broken up with Billy Bob. And so it just keeps going at you until you're like, fine. Good. Okay, Billy Bob, I need to break up. And
is one of the notifications, hey, I can't believe you're dating a dude called Billy Bob.
Yeah, well, I wasn't going to use real people's names. I'm protecting those.
Well, I didn't assume it was Billy Bob Thornton.
No. So just the push notification is the generative AI version of, hey, I'm going to break up with him at 9:42. It's just an accountability because it's easy to just stay in a relationship, even if you're unhappy, because you're avoiding the conflict.
So are you thinking that this is going to be a push notification? It's like a breakup app.
Yeah.
But it's very specific. And how often would you use it? Does it just do that one thing? Or is there a whole suite of features having to do with relationships that are in this app?
It's like a period tracker. You can use your period tracker so that you know when your period's coming. You can use the period tracker if you're trying not to get pregnant. You can use the period tracker if you're trying to get pregnant.
Right, but you understand my struggle with this concept. Periods hopefully happen on a regular clip.
Right.
How often are you... well, you're due for a breakup. Hurry up, get in a relationship so you can break up with them.
No. This is bespoke. You set what you need, and then when you don't need it anymore, you offload the app.
Okay.
It's like I have the New York City subway app on my phone. How often do I use that?
Well, I mean, to be fair, the New York City subway app was not made for you who live in Gainesville.
Well,
it was made for people who live in New York.
Correct, but then when you go to New York, you use it, right?
Yes.
So there's this app. It's out there for the whole world. You use it when you need it. You act like this is a thing that doesn't exist.
No, I think it's a great idea. All right. Are you ready for my first one?
Yes, and I'm going to hate it. Go ahead.
No. It's kind of has to do with what you're talking about. Oftentimes, one person knows it's time to break up and the other one doesn't.
Correct.
And sometimes they both know, like in your case, where you're both in the car just hating each other. And so I feel like there needs to be a panel of people who keep track of your relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And it could also just not be specific to breaking up. It's a relationship counsel. And so it lets you know how you're doing. It guides you along your way. But when it's time, they call you both in. You sit down. There's a tribunal. Billy Bob, Amanda, sorry to tell you, it is now time for you to break up. And it's binding.
Yes.
We as human beings, we get caught up in emotion. We make irrational decisions. See some of the relationships we've been in previously. And we just need help. Now, I would not give this to AI because I still want there to be a human touch in it, right? Mm-hmm. And besides, we're creating jobs here. And so I think that there should be a relationship counsel. And at some point, they call you in. Sorry, y'all have to break up.
Yeah.
Binding, boom, done.
So I have something similar on my list in that, I remember someone saying when I was going through my divorce, no happy marriages end in divorce, right? No healthy, happy relationship breaks up. It's just whatever the version of the relationship is. But oftentimes, like you're saying, one person realizes it and the other person doesn't. And one person can think that they're happy, but if the other person isn't happy, then it's not a healthy relationship. So my thought for this was kind of like the relationship emotional version of a prenuptial agreement. And it doesn't have to be for marriage. It can be for whatever kind of romantic relationship you enter into. But just saying, I acknowledge that if my partner is unhappy, I will work at going to counseling because there are also people who just refuse to get help. Like I hear you saying that you're unhappy. I hear you saying that there's problems with this, but I can handle it by myself. I can, or there's been those, let's just pray about it kind of thing. And the other person is not getting any happier or healthier. So there needs to be some sort of, I sign something saying when this person says to me they are unhappy, I will do what I can. I will go to counseling or whatever is designated in your paperwork. If that doesn't work, then I am in agreement that this relationship is not working and we will dissolve it. Because a lot of times there's that argument of, I'm not acknowledging that you're saying you're unhappy or I'm not trying to work on whatever. And so it's the idea of no happy relationships, no happy, healthy relationships end. And you can be in a relationship and think that you're happy, but if your partner's not, then it's not a healthy one.
So there's the breakup clause is what you're getting to.
Basically, yes.
Yeah. Okay. And then are there legal ramifications? Like how is this binding?
Then that's when your relationship counsel comes in and they do whatever their version of Survivor is.
Okay. So you're just stacking this on top of mine. I like that. That's cool. All right. So that was your next one, right? Yeah. Okay. Breaking up itself, the act of. This one is very simple, right? This is a thing that we can probably make happen right now. A setting or filter on your phone where it is impossible to break up by phone.
Oh. So that gets rid of the ChatGPT breakup for me. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. I just don't think that's the way to do it.
It's not, but what if you're dating someone long distance?
Well, then you got to get on a plane and you got to break up with them face to face.
What if you can't afford the plane?
All right, listen. These are all details that we can figure out, but the general idea is that you cannot be broken up with by phone. And so whether it is on the breaker's phone or the breakee's phone, like, for example, you text me, listen, it's over. My phone gets that message and sends a text back to you saying, nope, I can't receive this.
Yeah.
This cannot be received. Now, there's caveats to everything, right? But also, this is a comedy podcast. So let's just keep that in mind.
Okay.
In general, I don't think that you should be able to break up other than face to face.
Have you been broken up with on the phone?
I've been ghosted.
Right, but has somebody on the phone broken up with you?
I'm trying to remember because I feel like by the time phones and texting came around, it's not like I was doing a bunch of dating. I was married at that point, so
I have been broken up with over the phone, and like the wall phone, not like
that's interesting,
not like the cell phone, like the wall phone. Yeah.
And would you have?
Well,
at least you're talking though.
Yeah.
I mean, so maybe not face to face, but it has to at least be a phone call.
Yeah.
It's just the whole thing by text to me just feels so like, I don't know, antiseptic or something. Now, I know, I'm going to get people who disagree with me. And my personality type, I tend to be avoidant.
Yeah.
This would be difficult for me as well.
Yeah.
But just in general, at least get on the phone. At least have a conversation, right? You're disagreeing with this. I can see that the wheels are turning.
Because I don't want to talk to people when I don't want to be with them anymore. So I've never broken up with somebody.
You can get a Bryan Adams concert out of it. Then it's
no,
okay.
but if I could have broken up via text in the car, I would have. No, I don't think that. I think that there might be instances where, like, and again, this goes against the comedy podcast, but like, say the person's abusive or dangerous, right? And you need to just
yes, I get
not
that.
see them face
I
to
get
face.
That. Let's say that is an exclusion,
right?
And
right.
very legitimate.
Otherwise, yeah, it's just that, God, I feel like you're just going to get the arguments in person. But if we have the relationship clause coupled with this, then there can't be arguments.
Oh, well, that's true too. Okay, but what I'm suggesting here then basically is a no breakup by text filter.
Okay. So
that could probably be a part of this breakup app that you have. We can fold that in there, so at least this breakup app can like have some sort of usefulness or utility beyond
sure it's
pushing
like
notification. It's time now.
So it's like when you send somebody a text and their phone is on drive mode and they'll send a text back saying, I'm driving, I'm not receiving this text, I'll
exactly
right. That then gets rid of my third one, which was the breakup bot.
Well, no, go ahead, because we might not accept mine and we might accept the breakup bot instead. So go ahead and lay it out for me.
Just the idea of when you are trying to articulate to someone who is arguing with you or someone who's not hearing it or someone who doesn't want to receive it, or even if the other person is amenable to it, it's still the words are hard. And so I think my relationship breakup app would have the push notifications. It would have the you need to actually call me and not try to text me feature or whatever that you've employed. And then it would have basically the Chat GPT version of you put in, here's what's going on with my relationship. Here's why I want out of it. And then it comes up with the language that you use so that you're not feeling stuck on, maybe getting talked back into a relationship because you're not articulating yourself well. And I know that you're saying we're trying to create jobs. I get it. But you were also the person who told me that you heard Scott Galloway say on Pivot, we're not going to lose our jobs to AI. We're going to lose our jobs to people who know how to use AI.
Shout out Scott Galloway and the Pivot podcast. Hi, Kara.
And so therefore, know how to use it. And use it to support you. And I mean, breaking up is a hard thing. Coming up with the right words is a hard thing. So my app will have the breakup bot in it that will help you know what to say.
Okay.
So you pull it up on your phone, you actually call a person on the phone, and then you read your script.
I wonder how long it is until we have a wearable device like the Google Glass where there's a camera, or what is it? It's the Facebook
lens or something.
Lens or whatever they have now, right? And then also an earpiece that listens. And the AI is immediately taking in our context and suggesting things for us to say or do right into our ear as it happens.
You know what I would name that?
What?
Cyrano.
Oh, so good.
Because that's where that originated, basically.
Yep, very, very good. Cyrano GPT. So what you are suggesting here is breakup GPT.
Yes.
All right. Well, we'll see how that goes.
I think breakup bot is more alliterative.
Yes, it is. All right, my last one. And all of these, I think we're constructing an app.
I think that's basically what
because this is a different one. Here's a problem. Running into your ex around town.
Yes, but this is where the get custody of the town comes in.
Right. Well, we can't do that. But perhaps instead we have in our app here a location feature. Now, what we don't want to do, what I wouldn't want to unleash upon the world is I know where my ex is all the time.
Yeah, that's really dangerous.
Creepy and stalkery or whatever. So the app knows, but it never tells you.
Okay.
It just gives you little suggestions and hints like, maybe you shouldn't take this turn.
Yeah.
Maybe don't go to the store right now.
Right.
Or however it needs to express, but it's kind of like a hotter, you're colder type of thing.
Okay.
So we're still
Marco Polo, basically.
That's right.
with
But
your
the
ex.
opposite of Marco Polo.
Yes.
But we're creating a situation where you are gently nudged away from a situation that will be awkward. Have you ever run into an ex?
No, okay, here's my thought on this. I know someone who has broken up and they still live in town, and what they have done for when they were going to go to places that they used to go to, they will text each other and say, hey, I'm going here tonight, just so you know.
Oh, like restaurant or club or
right, or
whatever,
yeah,
bar.
like a concert or like something they would have normally done together. Like it's just an FYI. In case you were planning, I'm doing this. They're very congenial about it. So what if the app would allow exes to opt in and say, I'm going to have the app where I put in where I'm going to be. You have the app and it will just tell you, maybe don't go to this concert venue or whatever. So the partners are agreeing, or the ex-partners are agreeing to be involved in this app. It's not disclosing locations, or it could be, right? I'm going to put on, hey, I'm going to this movie. And then you can just check your app when you're making plans to say, okay, I don't want to be around that person. Especially it becomes really uncomfortable when they're dating someone new and you're seeing them out at places.
Oh, yeah.
And so you want to avoid that.
Oh, sure. Well, the idea was going to be that they would both opt in.
Yeah.
Like, it wouldn't be against anyone's knowledge that their location is being approximated.
Yeah.
And you could probably set like, okay, well, if they are within a mile radius,
sure,
or 2 mile radius or whatever.
It's the opposite of find my friends.
Yeah. Avoid my friends.
Avoid my friends.
Maybe this can be a different app.
I mean, there are other people I'd like to avoid too that I was not in a romantic relationship with.
That's right. Did I ever tell you this story? Speaking of happening upon your ex in a weird way, and I've told her this. I told her this story. I was hanging out with a friend of mine, and he was talking about, I don't remember what dating app it was. It was a legitimate, reputable one, right? It wasn't like one of the swipe ones, right? It was like a normal one that like I would try if I were into that sort of thing. And he was showing it to me because I didn't have any experience with it. I was newly separated. He's like, oh, look at these people I got matched with. And she was like number one. And so I'm sitting there looking at his computer screen thinking, what am I going to do now?
Did he not know that was your ex?
No. Because it's a friend I made like kind of separate from
Awkward.
that. Yeah. So I didn't know what to do.
What did you do?
I just kind of let it go. And then told him something later. But I was frozen. I was like, what? I didn't know what to do.
That's awkward.
Oh, so awkward. Like I've not been on these dating apps at all, but do they give you a way to avoid your ex popping up?
I have no idea. I've not ever done one either.
Good. That was a little trick. I just tricked you. No, I'm kidding. But I am curious now whether that's so, because it feels to me like that should be so. That
should.
There should be a filter on there. Oh, by the way, filter out my ex-partner. So, do you have any more things? Because you said you might have a fourth thing.
I do have one more, and it is, my fourth one was the breakup bot, and I wasn't sure I was going to do it, but since you were talking about it, then I brought it in. My fourth one is the antithesis of the app, and it is the human touch on this. I believe that just like we have matchmakers to help people find partners, that there should be a career of unmatchmakers. And this person will help you do everything you need to do once you break up. If you have merged bank accounts, which let me tell you, do not suggest ever. And
I agree with you.
Because you and I did not combine because we had done it with other people, and it's really difficult to deal with and or separate out.
And how we do it right now works very well.
Yeah.
Very well.
We still share all the expensive. We just have our own spaces.
It's a weird kind of like control to insist that, our finances need to be combined because I need to see every little thing or whatever. Yeah. That just feels very weird to me.
Yeah,
in retrospect,
I don't like it. So, but it was a pain to uncouple all of the money and the financial stuff. If you own a house together or you're renting together, this person's job would be to help you uncouple. So unmatchmaker is what I am suggesting. And then they can also serve as a mediator if you need to have conversations. Also, I think one of the biggest problems with breaking up with people is that you don't just break up with the person, you break up with their family and their friends and all the other things that people you might have had relationships with. It is the unmatchmaker's responsibility to go tell those people. so that you don't have to let them know via social media. You don't have to feel awkward when you run into Aunt Sue and she's like, how are you and Billy Bob doing? The unmatchmaker has already let all of the family know that we've broken up. The unmatchmaker can come into the house and take away the things that will make you sad and crying over, like rosé on a Thursday night or whatever happens. The unmatchmaker can help you, avoid the ex if you need to. But I just think this unmatchmaker comes in and helps. It's like the Swedish death cleaning people, but for a relationship.
I have no problems with anything you just said. That sounds like I'm surprised it doesn't exist.
And maybe it does, but it doesn't exist in a way that we know widely about it.
Well, so especially since like breakups and divorces, all these things are so prevalent. You hear about divorce lawyers.
Right.
Well,
That's not what I'm saying.
They'll handle the legal stuff, but all of the other stuff, I mean, you're exactly right. You're on your own. You're on your own, and oftentimes you are dealing with an uncooperative partner, So that is a great idea. I think we're going to forego our regular choosing of 5 things to send to people because what I think has just happened, and you have experienced it semi-live, we have just created an app.
Yeah.
Like, we've just created an idea that I think is $1 million idea for an app, okay? So some of the features of this Unmatchmaker app, right? Push notifications on your
pending
phone.
Breakup.
reminding you to break up in case you forget. The relationship prenuptial is on there, and this app can also, it can keep track of the milestones. Like, let's say one of the things that you do in the app, like in the dieting app, is you list your foods, right? You list, argument on Tuesday. Yep. Argument on Wednesday. You'd actually probably be really surprised if you kept track in that way of how many times you argued, how many times you argue. That will help the relationship towards some sort of solution, right? It doesn't allow you to be broken up with by text. That's a feature that you can turn on and off and agree to, I feel like. The breakup GPT, where it gives you the language to say. There's the avoid your ex portion of it. And then there's the handling all the practical, non-legal stuff at the end. And we can call it the Unmatchmaker app. Frickin' brilliant, Amanda Wilson. I'll let you have most of the proceeds to this in your bank account.
In my personal bank account.
In your personal
I will Venmo you some of it. But
thank you so much. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited that we've invented this thing. What can we do now? How do we get this to market?
Let's break up and see what happens.
No beta testing.
Okay.
We're all right. All right, well, clearly we have
unscrewed it up.
Well, now is the time where we usually read a listener question. We don't have any for this week. And besides, we were busy preparing for the non-hurricane.
And we might be getting another non-hurricane.
Yeah, well, this one is like a supermassive hurricane that I'm sure that if the 8 billionaires of the world got themselves together, they can figure out how to fix it. But what are they doing? No, they're buying penis rockets and social media apps. Awesome. Anyway, if you would like to send us a question for us to answer for you in a very nonsensical comedic manner, then send us an email at unscrewitup@gmail.com. All right, Amanda Wilson, I think that we've unscrewed up all we can unscrew up today. Do you feel like a better person right now?
I do. I think that I have solved the world's problems. Or at least a giant one. You're welcome, world.
It's all on Amanda. We are a part of the Whole Care Network, which is a network of people who provide resources and educational materials for those who are caregivers, those people who are taking care of other people. We are a part of the network because we fervently believe that laughter is a very good medicine.
Yes.
It's not the best medicine, depending on what you have, but it's a very good supplementary medicine to the actual other scientifically based medicine. Wow. So go to thewholecarenetwork.com and check out those resources and other podcasts. All right, folks, until we speak to you again, just always remember, whatever you do,
don't screw it up.
Bye.
Bye.